Dude, holy fucking smokes, dude. My cut is insane. Shout out to my barber, dog.
Hello. In this video, I will explain how counterbuilding works and the most common counterbuild items. I'll start with mages, then marksmen's, and finally tanks. Before we begin, I'm going to explain the importance of building depending on the situation, and why you shouldn't rely on one build for every situation. If you don't want to hear about this, skip to the time shown on screen. Counterbuilding is important for a lot of reasons, the main one being to keep you and your team alive to secure objectives and get the carry and marksman a lot of gold. There are many situations where using a normal build, compared to a modified one, won't perform as well due to the enemy's team comp. A great example of this is tanks. Oftentimes, you can scroll through a tank's top builds and see that it varies drastically with each person. This is because most of the time, you don't want one main build as a tank. You want at least 3 depending on the situation. One being your preset build, the one you would use given the perfect scenario for your tank. Another one would be a build to counter a heavy mage comp, with a lot of burst. The last one might be a damage build, depending on the tank. Each build gives you the opportunity to plan against your enemy and gain the advantage ahead of time. Given that the main goal of Mobile Legends is to secure objectives, it becomes increasingly difficult to secure them if your enemy is allowed free reign over the battlefield. Counterbuilding helps to stop certain heroes in their tracks and force the enemy to use different tactics and maybe even change their build. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into common counterbuild items for mages. The most useful and common one is Necklace of Durance. It gives the user 60 magic power, 5% cooldown reduction, and 10% magic lifesteal. However, the stats of an item are not what is important. The passive is the most important part of any item and can help turn the tides of any battle. The passive of Necklace of Durance is called Life Drain and reads, skills reduce shield and HP regeneration of targets by 50% for 3 seconds. This means that any time you cast a skill, your enemy will only benefit by 50% of their original heals. This is especially good against high regen heroes such as Estes, Uranus, Carmilla, and Esmeralda. But not only does it work on regeneration effects, it works on any lifesteal as well. For example, Ruby, Alucard, Alice, and Hanabi are all affected by this item, making it a great counter item for these heroes. On to our next item, Winter Truncheon. This item is very commonly seen on mages who keep getting targeted by the enemy assassin. It acts as a lifeguard for sticky situations and can save you at a moment's notice. Winter Truncheon gives 60 magic power, 25 physical defense, and 400 HP. Its unique passive is called Frozen and reads, freeze upon using. The hero can't do anything, but will be immune to all damage and debuff. Lasts 2 seconds, 100 second cooldown. This item is great against high burst heroes such as Ling, Alucard, Gusion, and various other heroes. Assassins mostly rely on their full combo to be successful so they can get a kill. By using Winter Truncheon, you can completely immune an assassin's combo and maybe kill them in return. It also works to get yourself out of a sticky situation. Let's say you took 1 too many turret shots, and if the last one hits you, you're dead. You walked out of the turret's range, so the only thing left to do is to Winter Truncheon to immune the final turret shot. Yes, it works against turret shots. It is a very safe item. In fact, it is so safe that even non-mages have begun to use it. Very useful. Now we're on to marksmen's. The first item we will look at is Halberd. Much like Necklace of Durance, it helps physical heroes cut down the heals of enemy heroes. Halberd provides 80 physical attack, 25% attack speed, and has the same life drain passive as Necklace of Durance. The only difference being that, as of right now, the life drain effect on Halberd only works when using basic attacks. Hopefully soon, it will work when using skill damage, which will be a welcome change by all, except Ruby mains. The next item we will look at is Wind of Nature. It provides 10 physical attack, 25% attack speed, and 15% physical lifesteal. Its passive is called Wind Chant and reads, immune to all physical damage, lasts 2 seconds. Duration becomes half when used by non-marksmen. cooldown 70 seconds. This is very helpful for marksmen since it can completely immune physical damage from heroes such as Alucard, Granger, Yuzong, Hayabusa, and Zilong. You will still be able to deal damage to the enemy, but they won't be able to damage you. Keep in mind though, this item will not work against mages. Now let's go over tanks. The first item we will look at is Athena Shield. It provides the user with 900 HP, 62 magic defense, and 2 HP regen. The passive is called Shield and reads, can be triggered when taking magic damage. Reduces magic damage taken by 25% for 5 seconds, including the magic damage that triggers this effect. You will only be able to trigger this effect after being out of combat for 10 seconds. This is the best item to build when the enemy has any magic burst damage at all. It reduces all magic damage taken by 25%, which doesn't mean that it's giving you defense, it's reducing the damage, just like how Vengeance does. Having this item could be the difference between winning and losing. However, if the enemy has no mages, there is no reason to build this item at all. The next item we'll look at is Twilight Armor. Twilight Armor gives 1200 HP, 400 mana, and 20% crit damage reduction. Its unique passive is called Defiance and reads, physical damage taken will not exceed 900. Effect has a cooldown of 4 seconds. This item is extremely good against high crit heroes such as Leslie, Ling, Hanabi, Irithel, and Layla. It helps soak up more damage against these overpowered late game heroes and allows you to tank for your team a few seconds longer, enough to shut down their marksmen. The big question though is, when should you build these items? Well, it depends. Necklace of Durance is usually best bought right from the start. Sea Halberd, however, is usually best to not buy at all if you have a mage that has anti-heals already. But heroes such as Mia, Bane, Claude, Hanabi, and Diroth can buy this item since their basic attack all have some kind of AoE effect. Soon, Sea Halberd will hopefully be changed and give it some use for other heroes. Wind of Nature can be bought right from the start if you feel you need it, but with heroes like Claude, always buy your core items first. Claude without Demon Hunter Sword is like Faramis' epic skin. Not very good. In fact, it's impossible. Tank can buy counterbuild items whenever they feel like it, unless your tank has a core item that is more important. Now that I've explained this, I would like to thank Avix for being so bad at the game that I had to make this video. Bye.